Alright, and now today we're going to go over my PS4 collection, and we'll go over the few PS5 games I have. Let's get into it. Alright, first off, we got Anthem. This copy's still sealed. I literally got this for free at a GameStop. I was shopping there, and literally the store manager, actually, he might have been the district manager, because he was really gung-ho about this. He was just like, hey man, oh, thanks for shopping here. You know, here, how about you have a free game while you're on the way out? And I was like, what, free game? What are you talking about? And he pulls this out of the drawer, and of course it's Anthem. They have like 30 sealed copies of these. Alright, next up, got Ball and Wonderworld. Still haven't tried it. I know it's supposed to be like one of the worst platformers ever made. I mean, I enjoy like a game that's so bad it's good once in a while, so I'll probably get some sort of, you know, something out of this. Next up is Bloodborne. Haven't tried it yet. I haven't played. The only Souls game I've ever played is Dark Souls 3. I want to play the Demon Souls remake on PS5, and then I kind of want to go through this series in chronological order. So eventually I'll try this one, and I'm really hoping that they're going to have a 60 FPS update for the PS5 for this game. That'd be really nice. Next up is Bloodstained, the spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night. Haven't tried it, want to try it. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the one with Kevin Spacey. Yeah, I don't know, it's fine. It kind of really started the whole like booster jetpack sort of shit that was popular in the 2010s for first-person shooters. Call of Duty World War II. This is really when the Call of Duty series was really running out of steam. I never played this one. I got this copy for free. I don't think I'll ever play it. Got Control. I tried playing this game. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. I know it's got its fans, but I just couldn't get into the controls. No pun intended. Next I've got the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I really liked this game. Shit, the disc is loose. I really liked this game when it came out, but over the years, I've just grown to dislike it more and more and more. I think there's a lot of problems with it, and I think if you want to get into the Crash series, this is just not the best way to start. Crash 4, I like it. I know some people will say that this is like the absolute best Crash game, but I really don't agree with that at all. I think this game is fine, but I'll have more to talk about this in a future video. Next I've got Chris Tales sealed. I actually did not mean to buy this sealed. I was at a GameStop. I had a $5 coupon for the month, and I know I asked like, what games do you have that are $5? Because I couldn't find anything in the store that I actually wanted. So I figured if I could just get something for free, I might as well. And they said they had a pre-owned copy of Chris Tales, but I mean, I guess this game just really didn't sell at all because they were giving away the new copies as pre-owned, and so, yeah, got a brand new copy. Next up, got Dark Souls 3. I've played this game before, not the PS4 version. I played the PC version. I used to have it on Steam, but I guess whatever key I bought, because I bought it from like G2A or something, whatever key I bought, eventually years later, it was, I guess Steam found out that it was bought illegally. Like, the key I bought was purchased, like, with a stolen credit card or something. So they actually revoked my, copy from my Steam library, so I can't play it on PC anymore. Yeah, don't buy your games digitally. Next up, got Dead Rising, the re-release on PS4. Haven't played it. I know some people actually say that there are some issues with the PS4 release and that they're not necessarily better than the original, but I've never played the original, so if I'm gonna try it, I'm just gonna try this one. Okay, next up, we're just gonna go over Destiny 1, Destiny 2. If I remember correctly, I think I have like, I think I have multiple copies. Yeah, I have like multiple discs of Destiny in here. I kind of have a weird little obsession with like Destiny. I played it a lot. When I was younger, and nowadays, whenever I get like a copy of Destiny, like in a lot or something, I want to keep them all just because like I think it's funny to me because they're basically worthless games. I don't even know if Destiny 1's still playable anymore. But I know like Destiny 2 is completely free to play, so like the actual discs themselves are completely worthless. So I just find it funny whenever I get them. Oh, but what do I actually think about the games? I think graphically Destiny 2 is probably one of the best looking games ever created, especially on PC. Gameplay wise, they're fun. Like the gunplay is really fun. And the movement I think is really cool, but unfortunately just the model of the games, how there's no real like concise plot and there's really no good characters, and it's just such a step down from Halo in my opinion. I think it's fine, and I think it's really good as a free-to-play game. I definitely, you know, it's criminal that people paid $60 for these games on release, and for the content you get, it's just not worth it. Next up, got the Destroy All Humans remake. I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I couldn't really get into it. I'm not really into just like sandbox games where you just go out and do funny shit. I was kind of into that when I was younger, but like nowadays, I want to play a game that has nice like mission structure, linear structure, concise point A to point B, and that's just not really what this game is. Devil May Cry 5, this is definitely one I want to play. I'm currently playing DMC4, which I think is fantastic, so I'm sure this game's even better. Dishonored, the Definitive Edition, haven't played it. Dragon Quest 11, I tried to play this one. I don't know, I couldn't really get into it. Maybe it's just Dragon Quest syndrome. I couldn't really get into Dragon Quest 8, but I did play that game for at least like, I think like 12 hours or something. I couldn't even get past the first hour of this game. Maybe I'll come back to it one day. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I really like this game a lot. I've never played the original Final Fantasy VII, but I think this game is pretty good. I know it's supposed to be only, what, disc 1 of the first game, but I feel like there's enough content here to warrant it being its own, you know, separate thing, and I'm excited to play the next game. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. I tried playing this game, man. It's just, the combat is so dumb to me. It's like playing an MMO by yourself. Like, this is just so boring to me. And I don't like... Well, I don't know if they can control it, but all the audio is super compressed. The art style is kind of strange to me. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't get into 12. The best-selling game on PS4, God of War. Haven't played it, but, you know, I've seen cutscenes, I've seen gameplay, and I know it's supposed to be, like, one of the best games on the system. I'll play it sometime. Guitar Hero Live, I got this game for free. I don't have the guitar for it. Next up got Hades. This game is fantastic. This is one of the coolest, most original games I've ever played. I love how the roguelike elements to this game tie into the theme, into the world, and how it actually makes sense, like, if you keep dying, like, why you're dying and why you're coming back. I really appreciate that. And the gameplay's super tight. I mean, this is a great game. Horizon Zero Dawn, again, like these big open world sandbox games where you kind of just do whatever you want and you're just running around a world. I'm not really too into it. The gameplay seems pretty intricate and pretty, you know, complex, but I'm just not into it. Injustice, the first one. All I really remember is that the graphics are really awful and the gameplay was just kind of alright. I remember the only reason I played it was for the story mode, and it's just a generic otherworld story. There's nothing special about it, honestly. Super forgettable. One of the more forgettable NetherRealm games. Next up got Kingdom Hearts 3. This is one I probably won't get to. I really couldn't get into Kingdom Hearts 2, and I know that like you need to play all the Kingdom Hearts games on every single console that was ever created to even understand the story of this game or whatever, and I just don't care enough to even bother. Next up, got Madden 25 and Madden 17. Thought it's strange that they named the 2014 version of Madden, Madden 25. It makes me kind of wonder what, in the year, I guess actually that would only be next year. Next year, Madden 25 is going to come out. What are they going to call that game? Because then they're going to have 2 games called Madden 25. Weird. Next up got Mass Effect Andromeda. I got this game for free. I know it's supposed to be like infamous for having god-awful gameplay and god-awful graphics, but yeah. Next up got, oh my god. Next up got Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and then the actual game. Haven't played these. I know these games are supposed to be like pretty detached from the rest of the Metal Gear series, and I know the story like wasn't even finished in these games because of what happened between Konami and Kojima. But I know these are supposed to have like absolutely fantastic gameplay, and people say to play these games just for the gameplay alone. So I'll have to check them out at some point. Next up, we got Monster Hunter World. This is just a game I'm not into. I'm not really into the Monster World series, and this seems like a fine Monster Hunter game, but I'm just not into it. NBA 2K17. Next up, got Nier Automata. I need to play the first Nier game, and then I'll get to this. And then pretty much what I just said for Nier. I need to play the first Ni no Kuni, and then I'll get to the second one. NHL 18. Oh, and NHL 20. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. Next up, got Persona 5. This is definitely my favorite PS4 game that I've ever played. I know technically it's a PS3 game too, but it's a PS4 game. This game's fantastic. It really surprised me. I've never played a Shin Megami game. Yeah, everything about this game was just sick. Art style's fantastic, music's fantastic, the turn-based combat is fantastic. Love the world that you play in. Yeah, everything about this game. This is just one of the best RPGs I've ever played. I can't wait to replay this game with Persona 5 Royal. I know this adds a bunch of content, and it should be a great replay. Next up, got Persona 5 Strikers. I couldn't get into it. I'm just not into the Musou style gameplay. I don't really like Warriors games in general. And then also, I feel like they kind of flanderize a lot of the characters in this game. Oh, you're for real? One more time in this fucking game. Like, oh, God. Next up, got Rayman Legends. I want to play Rayman. Well, I want to play Rayman Origins before I get to this game. Even though I hear most people say, like, this game is pretty much just Rayman Origins, but better in every single way. and that there's really not too much of a reason to play both if you have Legends. But Resident Evil 2. This is the only game I've actually ever been a little bit scared by. I don't usually play horror games, and the ones I have played, they never do anything for me. This one actually had some moments where I was like, whoa, what the hell is that? It's a cool game. I like the gameplay style in it. I've never played the original Resident Evil 2, but I don't know, I got kind of annoyed by some of the fetch quest stuff where it's like, oh, you can't go past this door because you didn't collect this random little trinket that was in a random room way on the other side of the police station or whatever. So I don't think I finished Chris's story, or not Chris, Leon. I don't think I finished Leon's story, but yeah. Next up, got the Rustler. Haven't played it yet. I know it's supposed to be like medieval GTA or something. Next up, got Shenmue 3. I haven't played Shenmue 1 or 2. I think this game was $5 at a GameStop one day, so I just picked it up. Next up, got Shin Megami Tensei 3, the HD remaster on PS4. Haven't played it yet. Haven't played any other Shin Megami game besides Persona 5. I'll have to try it out at some point. Next up, got Sonic Mania. I was really hoping to like this game, but I really don't like classic Sonic. I really don't like the control of classic Sonic. And I'm talking about the Genesis games and whatnot. I just could never get into them. Something about the momentum-based gameplay and just the way the camera is in those games. I've always been more, if I'm gonna play a 2D side-scroller, I'm gonna play a Mario game. I'm not gonna play Sonic, and I just couldn't get into this one either. I mean, I'm sure it's a great game, but I just don't like Sonic. I got Spider-Man PS4. I was gonna play this game, and so I popped it into the PS5, expecting it to be, you know, frame rate boosted and whatnot. But unfortunately, they gatekeep the frame rate boost behind the remastered version on PS5, which you can only buy digitally. So I'll probably never play this game. Next up, got Tales of Zestiria. Haven't tried it yet. I know it's really a PS3 game that's on PS4, but I don't know. I've only played one Tales game, which I'll talk about in a bit. Next up, got Tearaway, the PS4 re-release. This is not the way to play this game. It just doesn't really work with the PS4 controller, not nearly as well as it would on the PS Vita. I haven't played the PS Vita version, but I gotta imagine that that version is just a billion times better to play than this. This isn't fun. Next up, got Trials of Mana. I've never played a Mana game before. I think this is not the first one in the series, so I'm not going to start with this. Next up, got the Trine Ultimate Collection. These games always interested me just from the outset looking in. I haven't played any of them, but I got this for cheap one day, so one day I'll get to it. Uncharted the Nathan Drake Collection. This is how I played all the original Uncharted games. I don't know. Most people say that these are great games and whatnot. I really have contention with that. I like the first game a little tiny bit, little tiny bit. I don't like the second game and I don't like the third game. I'll talk about these more in a future video. And then there's Uncharted 4, which I think is legitimately a terrible game. I'll talk about this more in a future video. Next I've got Uncharted 3. Next I've got The Witcher 3. This is a really beefy copy of the game. Yeah, like it's a PS4 game that has a map. It's got a soundtrack. It's got an actual game manual. Oh, 2 manuals. Hold on, what's it got? It's got a manual, like a compendium. Oh, it's still got the stickers with it. And then it's just got a straight up thank you note from the developer. I mean, that's sick. Most PS4 games just look like this. I mean, you're lucky to even have, sometimes they'll even have cover art or like a digital manual available on the inside cover. But this, I mean, they really went all out for this game. It's a shame what CD Projekt Red turned into after this with just the whole Cyberpunk debacle. I know this game is supposed to be great. I've never played it. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing this one day. Next I've got World of Final Fantasy. I got this game in a weird trade, actually. Some guy who was my neighbor at my old apartment complex, he owed me 20 bucks. So, he didn't have the money to give me at the moment, so I was just like, hey man, you got any video games? I'd be willing to, you know, take a couple games off of you, and just call it even. And he gave me this, and then a couple others, but yeah, that's how I got this game. Haven't played it, doesn't actually look like something I'd want to play just by looking at the back, but next I've got World of Warships Legends. This is still sealed. I'm going to keep it sealed because I got this game for free. Again, this is another instance where I went to a GameStop and one of the managers there, I bought something and he's just like, hey, you want a free game with it? And this was the free game. I mean, I can't imagine that. They must have like a ridiculous amount of copies of this to just be giving these away for free. Next up, got Yakuza 0. This is a game I just played recently. Absolutely fantastic. I've been sleeping on the Yakuza series for a long time, and I'm glad I just started getting into it because this game is fantastic. The combat feels so good. The characters, oh my god, the characters and the drama in this game is absolutely, it's so campy, but it's so great at the same time. This game really just doesn't take itself seriously, and I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see where the rest of the series takes me. I got the Yakuza Remastered Collection. Eventually I'll get to these. I need to play Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2 before I get to this, but I will get to this. Eventually I'll get to Like a Dragon Yakuza. I'm gonna assume that this will be my favorite game in the series when I eventually play it, just because it is, you know, turn-based combat. Okay, that was all my PS4 games. Let's get into the few PS5 games I have. Okay, first off, got the Crisis Core re-release on PS5 and PS4. It's good. I really liked it. Did I like it as much as the 7 remake? No. And it's obvious why I didn't. Like, they obviously put a lot more effort into that remake than they did in this. This is basically just a PSP port with some little added features. You can especially tell with like the in-game animations and stuff. The story is a little, you know, it's a little campy, but it's alright. Zack, I think, is a good character. The ending of this game is just the same thing as the PSP game, which kind of brings into question, like, what the hell is going on at the end of 7 Remake, where you see Zack and Cloud they're both alive after the attack. Kind of strange. I don't know if the next game is going to explain this. I really hope it doesn't lead into some weird multiverse shit, because, oh my god, if it does, then I'm probably just going to shut off the game. Next up, have another copy of Chris Tales. Now, this copy is actually pretty young and open, so this will be the game I actually play. Next up, got Monarch. All I know is that it's an NIS game, and I think it's an RPG, so I got it for 10 bucks. The chances that I'll find it cheaper than that ever, pretty low. So I'll check it out sometime. Next up, got Panda Hero Remastered. This is a terrible mobile game that was ported to PS5. It's a GameStop published game, and it was only available physically at GameStops. Yeah, it's I mean, just look at it. It's awful. Next up, got Returnal. It's a PS5 exclusive. I really don't know what it's about. I assume it's some sort of shooter. I know it's supposed to be good. I'll check it out at some point. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. This game's aight. I don't know. It's basically Super Mario 3D World, but you play as Sackboy. And I'd rather play Super Mario 3D World. Scarlet Nexus. Haven't checked this one out yet, but I have checked out Tales of Arise, which is the same developers, and this game's great. Well, mostly great. The gameplay is really, really fun. It's a great action RPG. The story is great in the first half, and, you know, it's pretty interesting and intriguing and kind of somewhat original, but the whole concept of, like, slavery and, like, accepting your fate and, you know, it's just the nuances of politics between worlds and stuff. But then it just turns into the god-slaying, mystical, like, the planet's energies are fusing, and it just turns into, like, just generic JRPG garbage at the end. But, I mean, it was still fun. And that about does it. Those are my PS4 games and my PS5 games so far, and thank you guys for watching.